purpose of this video is to show that the sepsis critical actions checklist exists in the EHR, meaning in the navigator as well as the flow sheets. So if I go to my patient, just go to this patient, a sepsis screening in the flow sheets should be done on the inpatient sepsis screening summary, and this should be done on every patient, every shift, and with changes. Now, changes could mean that maybe they tested negative before when you first came on shift, but now we have new labs. All the pink boxes will be auto-populated by someplace else inside of Epic, and in this case, it's going to be the labs. These yellow boxes will be populated by volume, and these will be our vital signs. So the first one was negative, but now we have new labs back. Say we look down here and we say, oh, now we have a white blood cell count above 12,000 and maybe a positive bilirubin and a creatinine. So up here we'll say, okay, well, we suspect infection because now we have white blood cell count, and let's just say maybe we have a fever at this time, and here we have a positive creatinine and a bilirubin. Already we've tested positive, and this is where I want you to see. As soon as you test positive, this entire checklist auto-populates here, and it auto-populates with times, tasks for the 3-hour, tasks for the 6-hour. So let's go through that. Already here you've completed the first part, meaning the sepsis screening was complete and you have your patient information. From here, we'll have now, because we just recognized it, we'll say here, we'll say now plus 180, and here we'll say now plus 360, and that gives us our now time, when time 0 was, what our 3-hour bundle is, and just to be clear, the 3-hour bundle is to be completed via Sep 1 initiative within 1-hour bundle, but you have 3 hours max to get it completed. And then the 6-hour time, meaning between 3 and 6 hours, is when you're going to reassess all of the things you did in that first 3 hours. So let's talk about that. So you called your sepsis alert. Let's say you were screened positive. From here, what did you do about it? You will call your rapid response team. You'll have them come. You all agree it's sepsis. You call your sepsis alert because they're going to look back and say, was this patient already sepsis? Did we already complete this bundle in the last 24 hours? We're going to say, no, we're calling a sepsis alert because there is a change or that it's new. From there, we see what did we do about it? So we drew our labs, we drew our cultures, and that's all you can do for now because the other stuff can't be done until these things are done. So they were done at that time, and you're going to say, okay, now the time has passed. I'm going to insert another column, and I'm going to fulfill the rest of my tasks. So now I'm going to start those antibiotics, and maybe they were a little bit hypotensive, and you'll see the vitals down here, whatever vitals you've put in. Or if you're in the ICU, have validated. And you started your fluids. Well, from there, you really can't do much more because unless their labs are back by now, you don't know if the lactate was 3.9 or higher. And here, you don't know if persistent hypotension exists because you haven't finished the fluid. Persistent hypotension is defined as continued hypotension after initial fluids have been given. Meaning, if you look over here in the checklist, we have our start time and our stop time, which will be kept in the MAR and then auto-populate the intake. And then from here, you're going to add an hour to the stop time. And within that hour, you should be drawing at least 2 sets of vital signs to see if hypotension still exists after the fluids. Because the reason we take more than one is because in the first set of vitals, that could be false positive, meaning they could be falsely non-hypotensive because we just tanked them up and they might have a normal blood pressure here. And by the second, third, or fourth time, if you continue checking them, which you should at least once more, if they're hypotensive again, that would be considered persistent hypotension. So let's say, no, you gave them the fluids and they're going to be good because if they continue hypotensive and or their lactate continues above 3.9, you're going to notify the doctor. Let's say here, yes. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to notify the doctor and move towards maybe the ICU if they're hypotensive. But let's say they did respond. So here we're doing our reassessment. Well, we have to do it. And then actions taken. Well, we don't really have to take any more actions because we know that they responded to the fluids. And then in that 6-hour time frame, we're just going to click in another column and we're going to say, okay, in that time, we got our lactates back. It was above 2. Well, we rechecked it and we reassessed for the volume that we gave. And now your bundle's complete. So just to recap, sepsis screen should be done on every patient, on every shift, and with changes. Time 0 is when you notice the sepsis, when you got that information, say you got the new labs, or they had the change, or you just got them on shift, and they were previously negative. 3 hours would be after that time 0, and then 6 hours consecutively after the time 3-hour mark. So from there, you're going to, what did I do? When did I do it? And when did I do my reassessment? And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, to be clear, anything that they've done in the ED will also populate here in the flow sheets. So let's say they did all this stuff and all this was done in the ED. You will be able to look into your flow sheets and see everything that they had done if they're obviously using the navigator and the checklist inside the navigator. You will see all of the activities they've done. So say they get to the floor and all this is done, and all you need to do is your reassessment. You're going to insert a column, you're going to move towards reassessment, and you're going to do that. One of the issues that we've been having is, say the patient needs a second lactate or a third lactate, and we need to do that, but we forget sometimes. A way to help us remind ourselves is if we go to the brain and we click in one of these boxes, we can add a task here. And let's say that task is going to be repeat lactate. And then we say maybe the first lactate or the second lactate was done half an hour ago. So we'll say I need to draw it now plus 150. And the reason that is because the lactate has to be drawn within 3 hours of the last drawn, not the last resulted. So to be clear, the last drawn. So then we hit accept. And on that portion, now we'll have a task. So we'll move towards the time that that's due. And we'll see that we have a task here. So when we click on that task, we'll see that the reminder lactate, here's another one that I had done because I was showing people. 17:55 is the next one that needs to be done. When that time comes up, we want to draw that repeat lactate. We could chart against it, edit or skip. We could say done, and it'll turn into a green check, meaning we have already done it. So as the recap, this exists inside of the EHR. And anything that the ED has done, we will be able to see inside of the flow sheets. The sepsis screen should be done every patient, every shift, and with changes. Thank you.